What's going on, everybody? Spunky Nights 91 coming you guys with another video. So last night the Eagles played their third preseason game in Philadelphia. The game was canceled. It was canceled in the fourth quarter due to concerns of the weather. Another game without Carson Wentz, another preseason game without Carson Wentz, and I think we can say with about 99.9% certainty that Carson Wentz will not play the fourth and final preseason game. We will not see Carson Wentz until week 1 against the Washington Redskins. The third game is normally the game where teams play their starters. It's called the dress rehearsal, whatever. A lot of times these starters play play the full first half. Sometimes they might play a little bit in the third quarter, whatever. But then they get off the field. So to my disappointment, and I'm sure a lot of you guys felt the same way, Carson Wentz did not play. And for me, man, I just want to see Carson Wentz play one series. That's all I was asking for this entire preseason. One series at least. And we didn't get it. So, you know, I give him my reasons why I think it was a bad decision not to play him. I know people are going to disagree with my reasons for it. No, this guy's coming off of 2 back-to-back season-ending injuries, and this whole thing about how we should not risk getting him hurt. At the end of the day, man, it's football. It's football. If he's gonna get hurt, he's gonna get hurt. You can't be afraid to put him out there. You paid this guy $107 million guaranteed. You cannot be afraid to put him out there due to injury. If you're so afraid that he's gonna get hurt, then what's the point of paying him? I know it's preseason, but those reps in preseason are very, very valuable. For a guy who is playing with new players on his team, coming off 2 back-to-back, season-ending injuries, the reps that he gets in practice, that's all great and dandy, but nothing is more, nothing is more important than those reps you get with your teammates on the field during the actual game, preseason or not. So I'm very disappointed he didn't get a few reps in preseason. Like I said, I don't expect him to play the fourth game against the Jets. We won't see him until week 1, and I'm hoping that week 1 against the Washington Redskins that I'm not expecting the chemistry to be there right away with all his new receivers, but I'm hoping it doesn't take long for him to get into a rhythm with receivers. That the rust, whatever he may have on him, is shaking off quickly. So yeah, just my little rant there. I wasn't very happy at all that Wentz did not play a single down this preseason. But it is what it is, man. But let's talk about the players that did play this game. I'm gonna go over these stats. Like I said, this game was ended. It was ended early in the fourth quarter due to weather concerns. But let's go over the stats here from the players. There are 2 players in particular that I was very impressed with were Josh McCown and J.J. Arcega-Whiteside. Boy, was I impressed with them, man. No, I got a lot to say about those guys. Definitely a lot to say about those guys. Obviously, we signed Josh McCown earlier in the week, and he came in, a little rusty to start off, but he came in and he was definitely getting to a rhythm, and him and Arcega-Whiteside were tearing things up. And it's too bad. It's too bad that the game didn't continue, because I think the Eagles were on the verge of I think they're on the verge of a comeback. They ended up losing this game 26-15 due to the game being called to an end due to the weather. But I think if it had continued on, there was like 14 minutes in the fourth quarter. Had they been allowed to continue on, I think the Eagles definitely would have made this more of a game. I definitely do. But yes, let me get to these stats real quick. Starting off, Cody Kessler, who started off the game starting for the Eagles, garbage. Might as well pack his bats and get out of Philadelphia, because I think he's gone. Cody Kessler was 3 for 5. 34 yards. Josh McCown, 17 for 24, 192 passing yards and 2 touchdowns. Thornton was 0 for 1. Now, when it came to rushing, Corey Clement had 7 carries for 25 yards. He averaged 3.6 yards a carry. Josh Adams, 7 carries for 18 yards. He averaged 2.6 yards a carry. Yeah, Josh McCown 3 for 4, average 1.3 yards. Cody Kessler had 1 carry. Now when it came to receiving, like I said, J.J. Arcega-Whiteside, boy, does that kid like he's gonna be a stud, man. What a great draft pick that was. J.J. Arcega-Whiteside was definitely he was in the zone yesterday. 8 catches for 104 yards, 13.0 average yards, 1 touchdown. Greg Ward, 4 catches for 45 yards, 11.2 average a catch. Josh Adams, 1 catch for 18 yards. Mac Holmes, 2 catches for 15 yards, average 7.5 yards a catch. Agudosi had 1 catch for 14 yards. Zach Ertz had 1 catch for 13 yards. Ellis had 1 catch for 9 yards. Perkins had 1 catch for 5 yards. Nelson Aguilar, 1 catch for 3 yards. Now defensively, TJ Edwards had 7 tackles. 7 tackles. LJ Ford, 3 tackles, 1 tackle assist. Ronnie McLeod, 3 tackles. Singleton had 2 tackles, 1 tackle assist. McKinnon was garbage, like was getting burnt all day, man. Like this game was a disaster, man. And it started off as a disaster, and McKinnon was getting burnt, doing those a couple touchdowns, whatever. McKinnon had 2 tackles. Cyprian had 2 tackles. Nate Gary had 1 tackle. Hawkins had 1 tackle. Harold had 1 tackle. Hester had 1 tackle. Deshaun Hall had 1 tackle. Hassan Ridgeway 1 tackle. Shatu had 1 tackle. Timmy Jernigan 1 tackle. Brandon Graham 1 tackle. Trey Sullivan 1 tackle. Michael Jenkins 1 tackle. Orlando Scandrett 1 tackle. Rasul Douglas 1 tackle. Jackson 1 tackle assist. Avante Maddox 1 tackle assist. Kick returns. Boston Scott had 4 returns for 86 yards, 21.5 yards average. Donnell Pumphrey on punt return, 3 returns, 26 yards, 8.7 average. Kicking, Jake Elliott was 0 for 1. He had 1 point on the extra point, whatever. So, yeah. Eagles lose this game to the Baltimore Ravens by a score of 26-15. Speaking of the Baltimore Ravens, they signed Paul Warlow, the Eagles' former linebacker who we released last week. They signed him. I know, Eagle fans probably don't care about that, but I just had to point that out. They signed him today. The Baltimore Ravens did. Good luck to Paul Warlow down in Baltimore. Obviously, I live in Baltimore. I know the Ravens team overall pretty well because I live in that city, whatever. Best of luck to him with the Ravens. But yeah, I was very, very impressed, very impressed by Josh McCown. Here's a guy that was signed a few days ago, and I was just amazed by how quickly he was able to pick things up. Like, I was questioning if he was even going to play this game because he had just been with the team for a few days, but he came in there, man, and he picked up things pretty quickly. And for all you Raven fans who were running your mouth when the Eagles signed McCown, and you was talking about how we Eagle fans were so stupid for being very happy about the signing, who's laughing now? Who's laughing now? Josh McCown is a very good backup, and I was very excited about that. And I knew he was going to be a solid backup for Carson Wentz. I crossed my fingers that we don't need him on the field, obviously during the regular season, whatever, but I'm very comfortable with him as a backup for Carson Wentz. Obviously, when Sudfeld gets back, Sudfeld will probably be the number 2 quarterback. McCown be number 3. Kessler, garbage, pure garbage. Kessler, you might as well pack your bags, man, because McCown is definitely taking your spot. You might as well pack your bags. You've been very unimpressive the entire offseason. You've been very unimpressive. So, good riddance to Kessler. Good riddance to him. Pack your bags. McCown's definitely gonna have that number 3 spot. And I think Thorson's gonna be on the practice squad. I think he's a developmental piece. That's where he's drafted to be, a developmental piece. 5th round draft pick, whatever. I think he's gonna be on the practice squad. So Carson Wentz, Nate Sudfeld, Josh McCown. Two very solid backups for Carson Wentz. Cross our fingers we don't need them at all during the season, but I'm very comfortable with what we have at quarterbacks. I'm very comfortable with that. J.J. Arcega-Whiteside, man. I think J.J. Arcega-Whiteside definitely has secured that number 4 wide receiver spot. I don't think there's really no question about it right now. I think he will be the number 4 receiver behind Jeffrey, behind Jackson, Nelson Aguilar. I think J.J. Arcega-Whiteside is going to be a number 4 receiver. I think Mac Hollins is going to be number 5, and they're going to use Mac Hollins on special teams. That's the way I see it. That number 6 spot is really up for grabs. That's a big question mark at this point right now. Who gets that number 6 spot? Greg Ward is definitely a candidate for it. I think a strong candidate for it. Agudosi maybe, we'll see. But that number 6 spot is definitely up for grabs. But yeah, I was very, very impressed by Josh McCown, his ability to pick up the scheme, the system so quickly. I was very, very impressed by him. Yeah, very impressed by him. And very, very impressed by J.J. Arcega-Whiteside. I didn't know much about the kid when we drafted him out of Stanford, but watching this kid play, man, I think he's definitely going to be a stud in the NFL for years to come. He's learning from some great veteran receivers, with Jeffrey, Jeffrey, Deshaun Jackson, Nelson Aguilar. He got some great veteran receivers veteran receivers to learn from. And he was clearly drafted to be the replacement for Alshon Jeffrey down the road. So when that happens, which I expect to happen a couple years down the road, he's gonna learn from one of the best when it comes to the jump balls, like Jeffrey has been his whole career. So he's in good. He got some great mentors to learn from. But yeah, Eagles lose this game 26-15. The 4th and final preseason game is next week against New York Jets. Don't expect Carson Wentz to play that game. I don't think we're going to see Carson Wentz, play at all, that game, which means he won't play at all during the preseason. This was the first game that we really started getting a whole lot of starters out there to play a little bit. But Carson Wentz was obviously one of those guys that we didn't get out there. But, like I said, man, very impressed by Arcega-Whiteside. Very impressed by Josh McCown. I'm glad that we signed that guy. I feel like if this game would have been to continue, I think it definitely would be more of a game. I think the Eagles were definitely on the verge of really coming back into this game had it not been for the weather. But it is what it is, man. I'm not really as worried about losing the preseason. The preseason is what it is. It's an evaluation period. So I'm not really as concerned about losing the preseason. As long as I see some positivity out of the games, that's all I ask for. So I'd rather go shoot. Let's lose to the Jets as well. Go 1-4 so nobody can call us the preseason champions. I remember when we went 3-1 in 2015. We were just dominating our opponents in preseason. Then we finished with a mediocre 79 record in the regular season. And Chip Kelly got fired. That was Sam Bradford. His one and only year in Philadelphia. I don't count the offseason of 2016. But yeah. I just kind of went out, spaced out there, just bunch of random stuff. But what I'm saying is though is that I don't care about the preseason record as long as I see some positive things from our players doing the preseason games. And I saw some things that were not so positive, and some things that definitely were positive that we could build off of. But yeah, let me know what you guys think in the comment section. That's my recap for the Eagles Baltimore Ravens game. One more preseason game, and then the regular season is here. One more preseason game, and the regular season is right there. I can't wait, man. But yeah, let me know what you guys think in the comment section. If you're new to my channel, hit that subscribe button, hit that like button. Definitely hit that like button because it definitely gets my video out there, and that helps the channel out a lot. So yeah, let me know what you guys think in the comment section. As always, go Birds. Spunky 991 is out of here. Fly, go fly. Peace.